Hello, liveness. Hello, hello, hello. Being no makeup. Yeah, let's look somewhat decent and presentable. Hello, nobody. What's up? Yep, it's that kind of day. All right. I don't know if anybody's going to join us here today, but we're just going to get right on into it. Hi, everybody. My name is Emily Martinez. You're at the home of the Forever Theater Kid, and today I've got some breaking news that I believe to be breaking news, especially for us in our industry as actors, performers, artists, especially in New York City and in the surrounding cities. So, the Growing Studio in New York City has been doing these seminars with professionals in our industry in different areas of either casting or the creative side. Next week will be the artistic directors for regional theaters. Today was a seminar with agents and representation from five different agencies in New York City. So today we had Danny from the Growing Studio who was running it. We had Ellery. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to say their first names because I didn't really catch their last names. Ellery from Avalon Artist Group. Brett from CGF. Dustin from The Mine. Matt from DGRW Talent. And Eddie from Take 3. A lot of the stuff that was discussed in this in terms of like the question and answers and where we think that the industry is going to go and what to do now was very similar to the seminar from last week and what casting agents spoke about. So I will make sure to go check out my other video about that. I also linked the full seminar in the description bar, and I'll do the same for here once I'm done filming this. So, but the tone was just a little different. Agents and casting directors are just kind of different people, right? I think casting directors are probably they're closer to artists, where it's like very animated and very artistic, and things are very like feely in terms of what casting directors are talking about, because they're in the room so much more often. They're casting the shows. They also kind of have that like feel. Agents are a little different in terms, at least this is what I was gauging, is that like the agents were kind of like cut and dry. This is what it is, and this is what you should be doing. And it was at times a little like, okay, but then at the same time, it was reality, right? It was a reality check, and it was a good reality check to have as an artist. So, so these are the main points that I got from that seminar. It was only about an hour, so it was kind of like cut and dry. Let's get to it. Let's finish it. So in terms of agents, right, you don't need to have an agent, but there comes a point in a lot of people's careers where an agent is their next step, or something that they really want to help them get the specific jobs that they want. And an agent is meant to help fight for you to get those roles. But for right now, since the industry is honestly like on hold until legit June 7th, my birthday, as of right now, that's just the tentative date of when Broadway is going to be coming back up and running. But like, in all seriousness, are people going to be going to shows when they're sitting like shoulder to shoulder, as one of the agents was chatting about, like sitting shoulder to shoulder with another person? Is that going to happen? Probably not. So tentatively, it's meant to open back up in early June. We just found out that Beetlejuice is not coming back, which is a huge bummer, but it makes sense because their original closing date was supposed to be June 6th anyway. So although we're sad, there was part of us that saw this coming. So in terms of that, with the agents, with so much being shut down, and that's just Broadway, and the trickle down of that is even greater. For the most part, agents at this time, according to these 5 people, aren't really looking for new talent right now. They're taking care of their roster. They're taking care of the people that are with them, because their main priority is taking care of them and getting them work as soon as they can again. So probably sending them to submissions, or giving them submissions to send in, or seeing how they're doing mentally, or seeing how they're doing health-wise, because I'm sure there are a lot of actors that are on these people's rosters that may have had COVID or might be getting COVID or in the loop somewhere, or just, you know, going through it like we all are. It was funny. One of the agents said that, like, first and foremost, we're kind of what's the word? Yeah, they're like, we're 70% therapy. Well, right now they're like more than 70% therapy. So I thought that was really interesting. Hey, friends who've just joined. So are they even, like, they're looking at stuff. They're looking at stuff if it's sent in. However, are they taking new people on? Probably not. A lot of the discussion was about showcases for graduating college, like graduating seniors from college, and there are a lot of digital showcases happening, and they're watching them if they come through and they're interested, because they're like, if anything, we have the time now, we might not, but like for showcases, it's such an in the room magnetic experience if they feel someone's right for them. So if your school is doing a digital one, you know, it is wise to consider maybe doing a digital one, but then at the same time, like, see if it can be postponed even after you graduate. See if your program can rent the space that you're gonna perform in a couple months later, because some schools are just like like the different regional theaters, they're taking this season, this showcase season, and just pushing it back. And I actually think that's pretty smart, because showcases, even though I was in a showcase my senior year of college, but it was not to the length of as many of these new showcases are. In fact, our college was a little behind the curve with that. I don't think they are now, but at the time, like almost 10 years ago, they were a little behind the curve. So yeah, encourage your people, talk about it if you're talking about your showcases and what to do. I think, as other casting directors said in the last one, like, it's really smart to have your showcase digital somehow, because you want it archived, you want it saved somewhere, so people can go, oh, I remember that girl that sang that song, and I was able to see her live a couple months later, like, let's go back to it. So it's always smart to have a digital representation of your show, because that's where we are now. And if people say that we're not, and that digital is not happening, you're watching this live stream, it is, and people need to get with the times. So finally, the industry's starting to catch up to everybody who's trying to get into the industry. It's like, digital is the way it is, and although live theater is magnetic and amazing, like, we also have to be smart about it and know that getting noticed through digital media is not taboo anymore. It can't be, because then nothing's gonna happen. Then the industry dies for like months at a time, and we can't have that, obviously. All right, so let's see. So is it wise to send in? Is it wise to send in cold submissions? It's never really wise to send in cold submissions, apparently, to agents. You know, if agencies and managers want a personal connection. If you just send in your headshot and resume, you're just wasting your resources. You're wasting paper, because they need to see the work that goes along with it. If you're sending in, you know, and sometimes at some agencies, like, you need to still send in like a DVD copy or a flash drive of something, which I think is still pretty archaic. It should be email, and it should be like, here's my digital media list, like, here are all the links. It's just the easiest way, it's the most proficient way, and it's the most economical way, and it's the most, like, environmentally friendly way. Sorry, get with the times. Hot take. But yeah, it just it really grinds my gears when agencies don't take digital submissions. There's if they're taking submissions at all, digital submissions should be the only way to take it, in my personal opinion. So yeah, so they've never said, like, don't send in, unless it's specific, unless a company says specifically don't send in blind submissions to things. There's no rule that you can't, but they have no connection to you. Like, agents and managers need a connection to you. They need to know how you're gonna fill their roster in such a way that nobody else can. Or if even somebody else can do it, like what do you offer that's different? So sending in something that, and they've never met you, and even you've never met them, you just have heard of their industry, it's a lose-lose. Like you're just kind of wasting your time in a way, because you're not giving them an opportunity to meet you. And so I guess that raises the question, well then how do I get to meet an agent? How do I get to do this? Look at your friends. They were saying like network, meet people. If you want an agent, you have to put yourself out there. If you want representation, you have to put yourself out there. Sorry, my dog is eating plastic, or her toy, and she's like actually eating it, and I'm a little nervous. If you want representation, you got to go after it, right? Like, you have to in our agency, you have to network. You have to be kind to people. You have to really put yourself out there, because, or at least, put yourself out there because obviously there are people who are introverts that have agents. Like, it's a thing. Not everybody has to be like a YouTube personality at all times to get an agent. Like, no. You have to offer something special that is specifically you. But what they were all saying is like, if you don't know people, start getting to know people. Go to seminars where you meet the casting directors. Go to seminars where you meet agents. Take a look at some of the work of some of your friends. What kind of work are they doing, and are they represented? If they are, do you have a relationship with that person that they could give you a referral? Because referrals are taken very seriously in the agency realm, because especially if it's a client that they really love, and this person like highly recommends you, the chances of at least getting seen by this agent are a lot higher than just ever sending in a blind submission. And it was nice to actually hear that. Like, that's something that me personally, like, I've figured, but you see people sending in these submissions all the time, and I'm just like, but is that a waste? Like, is that a waste of time? Is that a waste of resources? Is that a waste of my energy? And people can always say, oh, no, but like, maybe it is, and that's okay. And so you can find a different route to get to an agent if you're really specific about them. The next point brings me to this. Be personal with your submissions. I've made this mistake in the past. I've had a template. I took a course on how to get representation. I won't say whose course I took, but, and I think there were a lot of things that I gained from it that were really beneficial, but this was also like 5 years ago, a different time in our industry completely. And I didn't have any of the stuff I have now in terms of just like me as a performer and just life. And I heard crickets. I didn't hear one thing. I didn't have any referrals. I just blindly chose things. I didn't honestly even know the people I was submitting to. I didn't know them personally. I didn't know their face. Now it's easier because we have social media, because we have that, so we can connect a face to a name and an agency. So you can't be lazy. You have to be personal. You have to be specific about why you want to be with a certain agency. Every agency is kind of, you can, especially based on their like social media and what they cast, you can figure out what type of agency they are, right? You can figure out if they're mainly for TV film. You can figure out if they're mainly for live theater. You can really figure out if they're really only casting dancers, if they're looking for a diverse group, if they're looking for quirky, weird things. Like, you can kind of gauge that in the types of people that they cast for certain things and the things that they're casting for. So really, like, if you are really invested in getting an agent when all of this is done, because honestly, you're not going to find one today. Like, you're just not. It's not going to happen. And I'll be Mama Bear and tell you that. Don't waste your time. Get your stuff together. That's what they said, is like, okay, so what I was just saying is, look at their social medias. Look online. Research. Now, yes, we have a lot of time right now. Not that every single moment should be devoted to honestly, I don't think every single moment can be devoted to our craft right now. I think it's really hard. You can take dance classes in your apartment. You can take singing lessons that you pay for. But, and you can create videos. You can create self-submissions. But there is time that you need to take downtime. You need to regroup. You need to recenter. You need to see what is beneficial for me in this moment, because if you can't put your best self out there for self submissions and stuff like that, it's gonna show. The camera shows. It doesn't lie. It doesn't lie. Like me right now, I ain't looking cute. She ain't lying. And that's, my hair looks cute. I will say I did a good job on my hair. I'm not mad at it. But like, today's a bit of a stressful day, and like I'm just sitting here like, oh gosh, I'm just sitting here like, okay, don't know what's happening. All right. Ugh. I shouldn't have moved. How dare me move? Are we gonna do here? We're gonna do here? Okay. Sorry about the angle. So if you do have an agent at this time and you haven't contacted them about maybe a job that you're working on or just in life, check in with your agents. You know, keep them in the loop. Tell them how you're doing. If you've been working on a project that you still don't know if it's been postponed or if it's still got the go ahead, like, yeah, my dog is crying. What's up? Yeah? Did you eat some plastic? Is your tummy hurt now? Gabe, will you take this toy away from her? Can't hear me. Great. Oh, you can. Check in with your people. Tell them, just update them. And you know what? I'm sure they'd love to hear from you because they want to know that their people on the roster are doing okay and just making it through this time. And I think that's great, you know? Like, you kind of get this idea about Hollywood agents and stuff like that through, like, TV shows that they're cold and disheartened. They're not, you know? They're people. They're humans. A lot of them have families and relationships and all that good stuff. And they want to know, and, like, even though you might not be, like, their immediate family, like, you're a part of their life just as much as they're a part of yours. So connect. Make sure that you all are doing okay. Check in with each other. And honestly, they just need, you want an agent that's going to fight for you. You want an agent that's kind of cold to other things because their main job is like getting you work. That's a good thing. Gabe and I were talking about that. We're like, maybe it's a good thing that they're kind of like a little like standoffish because it's like they're going to fight for their people. And we thought that was good. Something I thought was really interesting. Someone asked a question about gaps in your resume, and if you are looking for an agent and maybe you've been out of the loop, out of the industry for a while, or like Gabe and I have done, like working cruise ships for 4 years, right? Like a lot of people might consider that a gap in the resume, even though you're working 7 days a week for months and months and months and months and months at a time. That, you know, how do you explain that, you know? And they were just saying, just be honest. They were saying, just be honest, because a lot of times life gets in the way of a dream or of like a pursuit of something. And sometimes that can make you even more interesting because it makes you relatable. It makes you a human. It makes you someone that they want to cheer for. So don't lie. Don't lie on a resume, or don't lie about why you haven't been working in the industry for a while, because it could be anything. It could be having a baby. It could be working on cruise ships. It could be taking care of a sick family member. Like, they don't know. So just be honest. They were saying, someone asked a question like, what can we be doing right now? If we can't be submitting because it's not wise to be submitting for things right now, because honestly, what's the point right this second? What can we be doing? And they said really the same things that our casting directors were saying last week. Work on the things that you can control. Work on what you want to work on. Work on, oh my gosh, everything is falling apart. Sorry, friends. Work on what's gonna better you as, number one, a performer, but also like as a human being. They were saying the two special skills that you could really work on that are always beneficial for your resume, which I think are very big things and quite daunting, to be honest, but beneficial to know. If you have any other language other than the language that you naturally speak, and especially Spanish is a big one. I think we've all known that for a while, but also if you are proficient in any language other than English, work on your dialects, work on the different region dialects, because that's also something because I think they were saying, especially for TV film, They want as much authenticity as possible. So, excuse me, brush my, wet my whistle. Especially for anything specific like that, they want as much authenticity as possible. They were saying like, what were they saying? Spanish, Farsi, Arabic are big languages to learn. If you don't know a language, and you've always wanted to learn a language, take this opportunity to learn a language. If you don't punish yourself for not learning a language during this time. Learning language is a huge, huge thing to do, and it takes people years and years and years to even just get the basics down. So if it is something that you've always wanted to do, and you think it will benefit you in big ways, go for it. Don't pressure yourself to learn an entirely new language. They also said, learn an instrument. Not everybody has access to instruments, right? That's okay. But they were saying if you have it on your resume and you still have that instrument, bump up your proficiency. Become a professional. Work on it.
What kind of lies on your resume?
Yeah, that's true. Look at your resume. Make sure there's no lies on there. Because this is a time that people have time to work on special skills. Right? And I think that's true. I think that's a good thing to talk about. Me personally, I have basic ASL on my American Sign Language on my resume. That's another language. I actually could work on sign language. That actually, I'm thinking about it now. Not a bad idea.
Put it on the list.
I might put it on the list. But yeah, just becoming fluent in the things that are already on your resume is a great idea. Bumping up that professionalism that you have there. Because I know I've gotten caught with a couple of special skills that weren't as good when I was in the room as I thought they were when I wrote them down on paper. Another thing that they said, which was also repeated last week, was research. Watch as much as you can. No directors, no casting directors, like research. Watch TV shows. A lot of people would think that, oh, that's just binging. Well, it is, but at the same time, it is research. We're learning more and more what's going on in our industry and what's popular, styles of filming, styles of acting. It is a very important thing to do in our industry, and now we have the time to do it. But yeah, dampen your expectations was a big thing, and I think this was also chatted about last time as well. Dampen your expectations. Don't expect, if you are going to send in a self-tape, number one, make it better than it would be in person. That was something that one of our agents said, because since you're not in person, you really got to like show up and make sure that work is done. Prepare your materials as much as possible. Get that website up. Get those materials together. Get that reel together. Work, even if you're creating it as we speak, you know, like everybody gets it right now. But the fact that you have something to present that is your best version of you and the work is done, the environment isn't the most important thing about a self-tape. I have videos on how to, you know, work on self-tapes and tips for self-tapes, so I will leave them down below. But yeah, you know, just like work on what you can. Leave the control of the industry and how to be cast and get, thank you for your service, and how to get cast and work. Leave that ball in their court. They have the control, because when they find out about stuff in the industry, that's when it's going to trickle down to us performers. It's not going to be the other way around. It's just not. So work on what you have control over. You have control over your materials. You have control over yourself. You have control over certain skills you might want to work on. Work on those, which I think is very good to hear, because me, even today, I had on my to-do list, look for submissions. And I thought to myself, why am I going to do that? I also put like work on submissions / work on your website. It's better for me to work on my website than look for a submission for a show that might not even happen. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Okay, something that they said is like, if you do want to invite an agent to a showcase that might be happening or a performance in the future, they love it. They love a postcard at their offices still when they're back in the office, or emails, but it goes office by office. So I guess if there is a specific office that you really want to work with, or a specific agent you really want to work with, you got to know what they like there, right? So I would just research that as much as possible. If you know anyone that's with those agencies, ask them. But then also, like, trust your gut, because you can't know what everybody wants. You can't please everybody. So you really got to go with what you feel best represents you and what can make you the best version of yourself in that room. So, so yeah, those are the main points. Those are the main points that I got from that seminar. It was a good seminar. I don't think it was, feel like I got more information from the seminar last week, but then a lot of it was repeated today, so I think everybody kind of has the same information. So it was still very beneficial, and it felt a little daunting, so I hope that me giving you my perspective through this seminar has kind of eased you in some way. So that we're just kind of like, we're all trying to figure it out. Nobody in the industry really knows what's happening. Even the agents were like, yeah, maybe June, but like maybe fall, that we'll be back up and running. So take this time to better yourself in whatever you have control over. There's a lot that we don't have control over in normal situations, in normal circumstances. And there's a lot of things that you have to give yourself space to breathe through. So if you feel like you're really like overwhelmed from the world at large and what's going on and everything like that, that's okay. If anything, these agents are also going through that because they also have personal lives. They also have families. They also, one of the agents, she was also sick with COVID. So like everybody's going through it right now. So what we kind of have to do as performers and actors is just kind of chill and just kind of prep everything we can on our end. And then when the time is right, when the world opens back up again, go for it, right? Go for it. Get those references together, research, network, but also understand that people are going to be getting back into their own groove of things. So have patience and try your best. That's all I got. I'm hoping to have an actual video up later today about, I vlogged earlier this week. I'm working on it. So I'm hoping to have that up later tonight, just to have a video up other than just a live video. And yeah, that's all I got for you. So thank you, friends. Keep the faith, keep strong. Be the light in someone's day if you can, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and if you have, thank you. I love you. And also follow me on Instagram because Daisy's making an appearance. Hey, girlfriend. Daisy is very much featured in this vlog that's going up today, so. Because she's the queen of this house right now. Right? Yep. Ow! Yeah. Okay, I think that's it for us. So, because she's going to have a breakdown in a second if I don't pay attention to her. All right, thanks, friends. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope this information helped you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Where are we?